Hi everyone, how are we all? I know that seems like a really daft question to be asking considering the situation at the moment, but I do hope everybody is doing well. This is going to be my March update, March roundup, whatever you want to call it. And I feel a bit like, how can I even attempt to round up March without talking about it? It's very difficult. I'm going to start off with just kind of the basic stuff though that I usually would talk about, kind of beauty, skincare stuff that I've been either loving or not that impressed with over the month. And then I'm going to go into my usual kind of books, things we've been watching, what have you. Just before I do that though, I thought I would start off by telling you some of the things that I've liked about this month despite everything that's been going on. And the first thing I want to just say is the kind of solidarity of humans as a race. The fact that things like, I've been really enjoying being on Instagram because actually seeing so many people reaching out to their loved ones, seeing so many people having like, I don't know, like pub quizzes each night on Zoom or via Skype, whatever it is you're using, seeing people use all of this technology for its advantages rather than really wallowing in what's going on at the moment. And that's not to say that I'm not aware there's people who are really struggling with their mental health throughout this. I have close friends who it really affects them if they don't manage to get out the house and get out for a while and clear their heads and stuff like that. I know for a fact Alan, for him getting to the gym is a real, like, makes him feel better, it gets his endorphins going and all that kind of stuff. So I understand there's a lot of people really struggling with this, but equally I'm almost amazed at how people have came together, and I think that's really nice. I also want to say a huge thanks to obviously everybody in the NHS. I myself am an NHS worker, I am a nurse, but I think it's not just one person, it's not just the nurses and the doctors, you see that on the news all the time, but there are a whole horde of people who work in the NHS who you wouldn't even think of, you wouldn't even realise there was jobs that they do, that those jobs exist. And if it wasn't for them, then none of us would be able to do the frontline roles that they are doing. I also want to thank any of my colleagues. I don't know if any of them will see this. Reason being is because over all of this, I couldn't have asked for a better team to work with. And I myself will actually be moving to another ward for this foreseeable future. Just given that I have a few risk factors, and they gave us the option if we wanted to move to somewhere that would be deemed a little more safe but less risky, then we could go there, which I will be doing as of tomorrow, which I'm really sad about, to be honest with you, but it is helping my own anxieties about all of this, knowing that the health service have thought about me as a worker who has my own health issues and conditions, so I'm thankful for that as well. I'm also really thankful for all the other people that I think have maybe been a bit forgot about, like people who are carers that go into the elderly and help them, and they're having to go in and out lots of people's different houses, and they're having to work amongst their own teams to try and work out what's the safest way of doing this for them. And also for people like postmen, people like binmen, people, and I'm saying binmen, I know there's post women and bin women, I don't mean it that way, but just these people that work in all of these areas that really can grind to a halt. I want to say, like, well done. I also want to say to people who are self-employed, like, God bless you, to be honest with you. I've said before I'm not a particularly religious person, but I find myself saying that a lot recently, just because I, for a fact, like my neighbour, she has her own floristry business, and she doesn't, like, she can't go and open her shop and have people come. She's had umpteen weddings all cancelled given the situation at the moment. It's really difficult for small businesses or self-employed people at the moment, and I don't want people to think that they're forgotten about, because we shouldn't forget about these people. Businesses like the lady who does my eyelash lift, she has a salon in her own home, so she cannot have people coming round, clients coming round to her business, place of business, because obviously it's in her house, and that would be unsafe for her and her family, but also could be unsafe for the people visiting her. So she's basically had to grind to a halt as far as her self-employed and her business. So, you know, you have to think about all these people. I will link anybody's Instagram down below who has a small business, is in the area, or somebody that I use personally and think, you know, we need to keep thinking about these people. in saying all of that, I also just want to remind people to be mindful about what they are putting out there. Don't be shouting and bawling at people in the street because they're out. Don't be shouting and bawling at people like you're the problem, you should be indoors, etc, etc. It has been going on for a while now. I did kind of mention this stuff in my IGTV coming up on 2 weeks ago now, because at that point we weren't quite as on a lockdown as we are now. But the reason I want to mention it again is because someone's out at the shop, you shouldn't be going out and making it part of your social outing for the day. Don't take your whole family to the shop. That's not how this is supposed to work. You're supposed to send one member of the household to the shop. If you need to go out for some exercise, take your kids a walk round the block. Try and go to a local park if you can, but I know they were inundated as well. This isn't about like you get that hour a day to go out and have a rammy. It's so you can get that hour a day to go out and kind of get some fresh air about your bones. Today we went out and cleaned our windows, so we didn't even leave our own garden, but we went out and cleaned the windows. And as I have to say, I'm quite embarrassed with how dirty my windows were, and I'm so glad we've done them now. But things like that, like, don't start, there's no point in getting angry through this. There is absolutely no point. It's just going to cause more heartache and more turmoil, and it's going to, if you're getting angry about it because someone else is doing something, come away from it, because it's only you that is going to really upset. I'm not saying, oh, go out, rush out. I'm a nurse. I don't want people to be outside spreading this about. We've seen how it is on the front line. We've seen how this is going up, and it's scary. It's really scary. I've got a colleague who sent such a heartfelt message out to the work chat that honestly had me in tears, because she is working in a specifically COVID ward at the moment. And I'm telling you, it isn't nice. So please heed the government's advice, but equally don't start shouting and bawling and fighting with people, because it's just a waste of time. Just, you do your best, do what you can, and you know, don't shout and bawl at people because you can't get past them in the supermarket. Just say, sorry, excuse me, do you mind moving over because I want to keep my 2 meters. If they're arsy to you about it, then that's their problem. Don't even go there. Don't, just get yourself away from that kind of shite. Anyway, now that I've kind of covered the hot topic, I'm going to move on to things that I really enjoyed about March now that we're here. Obviously Estonia. We went to Estonia. We also visited Finland for the day. I will put Estonia vlogs up here in the corner, and if you go over and follow me over on Instagram, you'll see my IGTV of our day trip to Helsinki as well. I will put my name down here where you can follow me on Instagram. I would really love it if you go and follow me on Instagram. Reason being, it's just where I get kind of updates more often, but also because I put IGTVs up regarding the current situation with Corona, etc. I also put kind of shorter, just little funny quick looks and stuff like that up on my IGTV, and I'm nearly at 2,000 followers, and I would really like to be able to get to 2,000 followers. And if I do, I think I'm going to do a little giveaway as well, maybe give a few goodie bags away. I would love to get to 500 subscribers here on YouTube as well, so please click like, subscribe, all that shit down below. I'm not one who particularly says that quite a lot, so if this is the first video you've ever watched and you've thought, nah, dink off, don't worry, I don't say it that often. So I absolutely loved Estonia. I'm so glad we got to go when we did. If we had booked the week after, we would have been going nowhere. We could have been trapped in another country. It doesn't really bear thinking about. We got away just before all of this really kind of ramped up. So I loved it. I thought it was great. I'll stick some photos here while I'm talking about it. It was a beautiful country. The people were so friendly. Like, that's the first time I've ever been anywhere that's more Scandinavian as opposed to Eastern Bloc Europe, and I thought it was great. So fantastic. Please go and watch the vlog. That would be lovely. That was one of my big thumbs up about March. Until everything just went a bit bonkers. Right, we're going to move on to skincare. I've kind of got 3 things here from skincare this month. Okay, so the first one is the Kiehl's Hydro Plumping Retexturizing Serum Concentrate. Now, this I believe is like a glycerin. It's got 15% glycerin in it. I haven't kept the box, which actually had the proper like ingredients list on the back of it, which was silly. But as far as I know, glycerin is a humectant, and a humectant is one of these things that kind of draws water to the surface of your skin, a little bit like a hyaluronic acid would. The thing about glycerin is I think it is probably a little bit I don't want to say better, but I prefer it over hyaluronic acid because I don't feel hyaluronic acid does very much for my skin, but also because it's one of these ones that if you put on glycerin, it will kind of lift water from the deeper layers in your skin up to the surface. But if you're going to put on a moisturizer or a barrier or something on the top, usually any kind of moisturizer will do, then it will trap like a sandwich with the moisture on the top of the skin, as opposed to it just drawing up to the skin and then dispersing. If you're putting a moisturizer on the top, then it's going to trap it there and be quite good for your skin. And saying that, I feel a little bit like the science behind that, I feel like we were always taught that humectant and hyaluronic acid is something that will draw water to the skin, and I've said this before when I spoke about hyaluronic acid. If you live in a really arid place, that is not good. It's going to draw it out. It goes from areas of low water to goes from areas of high water to low water. So your skin has got all its water floating about in here, and if it's dry outside, like really arid like a desert, then that water's going to be drawn out from your skin, and you don't want that. You want it sitting on your skin, making sure it's nice and plump. So when I read up on glycerin, I was a little bit like, I'm not sure if that's what I really want it to be doing, drawing water out from my skin. I really want it to be putting it in the skin, and it's a little bit airy-fairy and a little bit not overly clear. But I've been using this, it's probably nearly finished now, I've been using this since maybe mid-February, and I like it, but I don't know if I would pay full price. This came in a little kit I got at Christmas. I don't think I'm wowed by it. I've got other products that I use more regularly that I've preferred than this, and I really like Kiehl's as a brand. I enjoy a lot of stuff from them, but I'm gonna say this isn't something that I'll repurchase again. I'm not sure if glycerin I'm overly impressed with, to be honest with you. As I've said, I was never overly impressed with hyaluronic acid either. The two of them I feel are a little bit like, nah, what's it doing? My skin at the moment isn't great. I've got a few blemishes going on down here. It is very dry at the moment, my skin as well. I think that's probably because I've not been drinking enough. I've been at home obviously a lot of the time, and I don't know, mine's been going 24/7, other stuff going on obviously, and I keep forgetting to drink water. Got to about 6-7 o'clock the other night, and I can't remember what it was Alan said to me, but I was like, oh, he said something to me about changing the toilet roll changing the toilet roll on the holder, and I was like, well, I've not been in there today, I've not peed today. And then I was like, I've not peed today because I've not drank today. So I think that's probably a lot to do with how dry my skin is as well. But I wasn't overly impressed with this. I probably won't repurchase it, and it's very expensive. I will link all the products I'm speaking about down below as well. The next thing is the ingredients vitamin C. Now I did talk about this in a really quick Boots haul over on IGTV. Ingredients, they've kind of tried to do that inky list, the ordinary look, like simple look to them, but you know, it's the ingredients rather than all the perfumes and all the other crap that gets put into skincare. It's very affordable as well. I have to say I like this. My favourite vitamin C to date is probably the Kiehl's one. It is pricey, but I really do enjoy it, and I do like vitamin C. But in recent months, I've found there's been ones that I just really did not get on with whatsoever. The ordinary one, it was alright, it done the job. Would I buy it again? Not in a rush. This one, however, is more of a liquid. It's not a cream or a paste. I find that the Inky List one is definitely a paste. It's like almost got that pore filling, mattifying kind of primer feel to it, and I really don't like that. Whereas this is just a liquid. I don't know if you'll hear me shaking that there, but it's proper watery. So I really like that about this one, that you can just put it on and then move on to your next steps without it balling up or anything like that. I really enjoyed that. So at the moment, I'm probably not even halfway through it. I'm probably like a third of the way through, and I'll keep you updated what I think regarding my skin. But I think this is really good. I've been quite impressed with this. Alright, the last piece of skincare is Elizabeth Arden's 8-Hour Cream. Now this is the one for your hands. What can I say? You're a nurse. We're all being told to wash our hands more frequently, but in our job we do it a lot anyway. So now that we're having to be even more vigilant, and even more vigilant for our own safety as well as other people's, this has been a saviour. It's actually nearly finished. One thing, somebody messaged me, it was Adrienne from the Sunday Girl. I'll put her links, her blogs and stuff like that down below. She is a very well-known blogger, beauty influencer, if you want to say that. And she had messaged me being like, do the nurses need any sanitizers? Do they need anything like that? I know you are using it a lot in the hospital, and to be honest with you, hand sanitizer as of yet in the Glasgow hospitals hasn't became an issue. We have had to what do you call them, cable, you know, cable ties. We've had to cable tie them to the holders in the hospital because people started pinching them, which I think is pretty goddamn disgraceful if you ask me. But what can I say, it's the world we live in. So hand sanitizer hasn't been a big problem. We've had plenty of that. We've obviously got plenty of soap, but hand cream is not something that the NHS provide willy-nilly. They don't give it out to the nurses. We usually bring in our own hand creams. So we've been going through this like madness. So when she asked, I was like, actually it's hand creams nurses probably need as opposed to sanitizers and soap. So I have went through a full one of this, a full one of these, and I will probably go through in the coming weeks, God knows how many more hand creams, but this one is really, really good. It's very intensive. It's almost like the texture of Vaseline. I don't know if you can see that there. It probably looks more like a cream, but it's almost kind of see-through, and it is really, really good. It also has an almost like herbal smell to it. I can't put my hand on what it is, but it definitely has like a kind of menthol-y almost scent to it, but it's really, really nice. It's really good. Alright, moving on to beauty bits. I have 2 from Glossier and 2 from Collection. I don't think I spoke about these in February because it was right at the start of the month that I got a wee shot of the Glossier Sky Washes before we knew what was coming. So I put an order into Glossier. I picked up 2 colours. I got, this one is Terra, the other one is, what's it called? It's more like a kind of, I expected it to be a kind of tan colour, but it's not. It's like a kind of weird pukey yellow colour, and I really didn't like the other one. I can't remember the name of it now, but the other one I wasn't keen on. This one, however, I adore. I think it's so, so nice. It's beautiful, like wash of colour on the lids. It's not what I've got on today, but it's much deeper than what I've got on today. It's like that rust colour you would get from the Naked Petite palette, like the colours in that. That's what this colour is, and it's phenomenal. It's so, so nice. Took it away with me to Estonia and probably had it on every other day there. Found it was so easy to go like day to night with it as well. I would have it on during the day as a washer colour, then I could build it up in the evening, put a little bit of sparkly something or other over the top of it as well. Thought it was beautiful. So impressed with these. Don't know how I feel about them as a product because I think the lighter ones, as I say, the kind of more kind of beige colour that I got, taupe I suppose, I wasn't overly impressed with, but this colour in particular I really, really, really liked. I also picked up from Glossier Cake, which isn't new. This is from their Generation G lipsticks. This is the kind of colour here. I suppose it's kind of, it's a nude, but it's virgin on the orangey side of nude as opposed to the kind of pale side of nude. It actually looks quite dark there, but it's not when you put it on. It's again a kind of wash of colour on the lips, a matte wash, and I'm really, really enjoying these. I really, really like the new packaging on the Glossier lipsticks as well. I have tried Zip and Jam as well from Glossier, and I really like both those colours, and I would be inclined to pick them up in the new packaging because mines are really quite old now and getting a bit dried out, but I would be inclined to pick up them in the new packaging. What was that? I would be inclined to pick them up in the new packaging as well because I thought they were really, really nice. Now the 2 products from Collection actually are on my face at the moment. I did do a whole video on this collection from Collection. I hate having to say that, but this is the You Do You collection from Collection. This one is Bare, and this is their cheek and eye tint, and this is the lip oil in Smooch. So I have that on today. It is a kind of red colour, but as you can see, it is not too bright. It's more like just a wash of colour, and I love that it's a lip oil. It's so easy. I think this works really well on me because I am very pale. I have got a friend who has said that actually these don't really come up with any colour at all because she has much darker skin tone than me. So that's just something to bear in mind that I didn't know about when I put that video out. I will link it up here. The eye and cheek stuff though, she says she absolutely loves these. She says these are really, really good. So that's what I've got on my eyes today, and I do have a little bit on my cheeks as well. And actually I think you can see that it looks much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Saturated on my eyelids, because obviously I've put it on a concentrated area as opposed to my cheeks, but I still really like the look that this gives. I was really impressed with these. They're so affordable, so good. So go and give them a little check out online. Remember, don't be going out to the shops, and I don't even think Superdrug's open anyway. I'm then going to go on to talk about jewellery. So I have 3 new pieces, including this one here that I have been adoring. I am going to do little cutaways in here so you'll be able to see them better closer. So the first piece here I bought when we were in Helsinki in Finland. It actually says Capricorn on it here, and on the back it has a little sign, like the sign, star sign for Capricorn as well. It's just a big flat disc. I love chains like this, and I love being able to layer it like this as well. So these 2 pieces here, this one and this one, are from Accessorize. Now the flat one here is like one of these snake style necklaces. I love it. I think it's so nice on its own or layered with other pieces like this, and so affordable. These are from the Z range from Accessorize. I've always really liked the Z or Z range from Accessorize because they are gold plated. So I always think, okay, they are a little bit more expensive, but you're getting a little bit more for your money. And to be honest with you, they last ages. I've got pieces from this collection that I have had over 6 years, and they do not tarnish whatsoever if you look after them. I've not had any tarnish at all, but I can imagine if you didn't look after them, they might. But personally, mine are all still very good condition. I really enjoyed the kind of chain link one as well, which also had a lovely bracelet to match, but I didn't pick that up. And I think this is so reminiscent of the Missima jewellery at the moment, which is obviously much more expensive, but exactly like the same. To be honest with you, it's an absolute dupe. And as I say, because they're gold plated, they will last a lot longer than cheaper jewellery. So if you're looking for a kind of alternative to the Missima stuff, then I think looking for the Z range and Accessorize is a really good shout. Finally, I'm going to move on to kind of what we've been watching, because we've had a lot of time to watch stuff. And to be honest with you, right, see, before proper lockdown came, and obviously I'm still going to work, but before proper lockdown came, me and Alan were kind of just re-watching Friends. I don't know how we ended up doing it. It was quick, easy, half-hour things to watch while we were just eating dinner or whatever. And honestly, like last week, just as lockdown came, we were on like the last 5 episodes of Friends, and I thought the timing for that couldn't have been any worse. So we don't have anything to watch anymore. Although in saying that, we did watch The Tiger King. I'm sure everybody has seen that, spoke about on Netflix. I don't know what I made of, like, I thought it was good. I did think it was good. We did like want to watch it after episode. We didn't stop us doing that. But there was part of me that thought, like, he was mental. He was absolutely mental. But equally, I kind of liked him. I thought he was quite good. But also, I felt a wee bit sorry for him at the end. I feel like he maybe was a bit of a simple soul. Like, I'm not saying he was stupid. I think he knew exactly what he was doing at times. But and obviously there was things about him that I found a wee bit skeezy as well, a bit sleazy. But I also thought at the end, like, I couldn't understand, like, this woman that he wanted to do in or tried to get murdered, whatever happened. No spoilers. I just felt like, what was different from her part? Like, it just, she was doing the exact same thing. Like, I don't understand. And he obviously just got in over his head with the wrong crowd and ended up like in a bad position. But that's all I'm going to say on it, because if you want to go and watch it, I'm not going to spoil it. But we enjoyed that. That was really good. We also started rewatching Extras. We finished that last night because we've got all this time to just sit and watch things, so that's what we've been doing. I also downloaded The Sims. When I went on to Origin, I think it is, you get them on, it said you haven't played The Sims since 2016. I haven't played The Sims since then, and I was like, oh my god, I don't even know if I'll remember what to do. But as soon as I went on, I was like, oh my god, yeah. And then I got the expansion pack for the cats and dogs as well. Just ridiculous. I'm going to waste so much time. In saying that, I've been doing a lot of other stuff. Like, I've been doing like my bullet journal. I'm going to prep my bullet journal for April and things like that tonight. I'm going to make some cookies this afternoon, just kind of fill the time up a wee bit. But because I am still working, I'm still going out and working a 40-hour week, so to me my time isn't quite, like, I don't feel quite so bad because I'm anxious because I'm having to go and work where I work, but I don't feel quite as bad. It doesn't really bother me so much if I'm in, because I am still going to be out and working a 40-hour week, so that's alright by me. Lastly, I want to talk about 2 books. They are not new books. I feel like, when did this one come out? So this is a 2018 Costa winner. This is Sally Rooney's Normal People. It has been about, and I've seen it reviewed so many times on YouTube by numerous different YouTubers and influencers. When I see things like this, I tend to shy away from reading them, because I feel a little bit like, if a book is being raved and raved and raved about, then I'm a little bit, I'm one of those arseholes who's like, I don't want to read it then. Like, that is me. I'm one of those arseholes. But I kind of gave in on this one. I'd seen it a few times. I thought we're going to have a lot of time to spend. I really, really liked this. The first couple of chapters, I thought, I'm going to hate this, because it was based like in a high school. It was all a little bit kind of Sweet Valley High. Like, it's based in Ireland, so it's nothing to do with America. But I just was a little bit like, this is a little bit juvenile for me. I don't think I'm going to like this. And then kind of as I got into 3rd, 4th chapter, I was like, I can't put this down. It's so, so good. There's no big plot twists, there's no big like shocking truths at the end of it or anything like that. It's just a story about 2 normal people, and it really stuck with me, their relationship, how they interact together. It really made me think of relationships that I've been in the past, and how we act around other people, and how sometimes we don't always say what's at the forefront of our mind when we probably should, and how communication becomes so stilted, not only in like romantic relationships, but just in everyday relationships with your mum and dad, or with people you work with. Communication can break down so quickly, and by not making things clear, or not making your feelings known to people, it can make it really awkward, and then the other person thinks something else, and they might be thinking something completely irrelevant to what you were meaning in the first place. I think like remembering that online as well is really important, because I think the tone of things in a message or online comes across completely different as to the way it does in real life. And I just thought this was really, really interesting, and I have already ordered the 2nd book, or her other book. I don't know if this one was out first or the other one was, but Conversations with Friends. I've ordered that now to read as well, because I really, really enjoyed this. This one, however, again, another one that I've seen flashed about a million times by a million influencers, YouTubers, all your kind of, what do I want to say, Middle England lot? Is that what I'm meaning? I don't want to offend anybody here, but it's quite unrelatable for me, I have to say. I was very kindly given this book. It was sent to me by Jennifer. She is Jennifer. I am Jennifer McKee on Instagram. You maybe see her. She wears loads of lovely bright coloured rainbow clothes. Hello Jennifer, if you're watching this. She sent me this like a year ago, I'm not even gonna lie, because I was wanting to read it, because I kept seeing so many people speak about it, and she was the only person that I seen writing saying, I don't really get the hype. And she was like, I didn't really like it, I'll send you it in the mail and you can read it. I never got round to it. I read a million other books before it, but again, in this period when we've got so much time to waste, I thought I'm going to make a start on this, and I finished it really quickly. The reason I finished it really quickly was because about 1/3 to half the way through, I thought, I just want this over with. This is no discretion on this lovely lady, Dolly Alderton. I'm sure she's really nice, I'm sure she's lovely, and a lot of the people that I've seen raving about this book, no doubt maybe know her in real life, and I spoke to her and said, oh, she's a wonderful lady, she's right book, blah blah blah. But from a personal standpoint, I found this really unrelatable. I think maybe if you grew up in London, maybe I've got a friend who comes from London, and she grew up there, and she went to an all-girls school briefly in her latter years, and she said there was a lot of kind of like, the people she describes in it are almost the people that are in this book too. So if I gave it to Charlie to read, would she relate to it a bit more? I don't know. But even like going from, it talks about her going from like her pre-teens almost right up until when she's about 30, and in it I just feel like it's a constant complaint from a really privileged person, and I'm not saying privileged people don't have their own mental health problems and their own problems that they worry about, but I found it really, really difficult to relate to this. I just kept reading it being like, is this what you're moaning about? I think it gets to a point where she's going to therapy and her therapist's behind Oxford Street in London, and she almost is like explaining therapy, and I'm not against therapy. If you need to go to therapy, that's great. If you like going to therapy just as a good practice of well-being, fantastic. But she's talking about that, and I'm like, but you're paying for a therapist who's just off Oxford Street, like, and then also in the same chat or the same chapter talking about how skint you are. And I just was like, really though, like, that is a privilege. And she says that herself, like, I should realise that it's a privilege to be able to pay for a therapist, and you know, but I just was like, this is all sorts of mixed up. It doesn't make sense. It sounds like someone who's 32 complaining like a teenager, whereas she's trying to say like that she grew up and learned not to be like that. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I didn't enjoy it, and if anything, it's made me have an opinion of this woman who I don't even know yet. Like, it's weird. Like, it didn't make me think, oh yeah, I'm laughing like I was like that. There are some things that I can relate to, like talking about MSN Messenger, talking about the early 2000s, talking about like first goes on Tinder. I've never been on Tinder, so I don't really know, but I had friends who were. Stuff like that. And I like to look back, because we're of a similar age, me and this lady, and I think, yeah, okay, there is stuff that I kind of can relate to. I was a bit of an arsehole in my early 20s, so I don't deny that. But I don't know, everything seems so minuscule. Her problems just seem so silly. And I'm like, really? Is that what you were worrying about? Like, I just think, as I say, it's a little bit like everything I know about moaning from a privileged person. I'm really sorry. I did not enjoy this whatsoever. So that is it. That is everything. I'm now going to go and bake some cookies. Keep you up to date on how I get on with that over on Instagram. Hoping that they work out well, and I'm going to let Alan go and change his guitar strings and play a bit of music now, because I asked him to stop playing the guitar because he would have heard it in the back of this video. So I hope he doesn't mind that. Hope you're all well. I'll have a few other videos up and coming, and please just keep your chin up. Please keep going. We will all get through this. Hopefully over the next 12 weeks everything will go back to normal eventually. Not normal as we know it, but a new sort of normal. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.